It's like serotonin crack. Say crack
Say
again.
crack again. Crack. Welcome to Empaths Anonymous.
A space for dreamers, healers, and feelers, navigating the fine line between putting yourself first and holding space for others.
If you struggle with balancing your needs while still supporting your tribe, then you're in the right place.
Welcome to the support group.
Hi,
That's
everyone.
the intro.
That's the intro. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Empaths Anonymous podcast. I'm Danny.
And I'm Christina.
And we are in our band tees, artist tees.
Yes.
Because we have such a fun episode today, but reeling it back in before we introduce our amazing guest. What's in your cup today, sister?
What's in my cup today is a lot of gratitude. You know, taking notes on things, people, opportunities that are coming into my life right now. And I have a lot of gratitude. There are other things too. I mean, I feel like duality, right? There's always, there's with the good, there's the bad. And like, I can hold space for having two different conflicting feelings at once.
Yes, ma'am.
But overall, I do feel a lot of gratitude. January, well, this is the first week of February, but January was fucking crazy. So much happened in January. And yeah, I don't even really know how to process all of it. TikTok got taken away. We got it back in 12 hours. All of the tech bros are fucking wilding out. We have an orange man as our president again.
The fires, which of course we've been posting on socials, resources, anything that you're looking for. If you are someone who wants to help someone who is affected directly by those fires, there are so many resources out there. It can be very overwhelming. I'll just say that. It can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
To have all these things happen at once and then you're still in recovery, right? And how do we help those people who are still in recovery? So it's all up to you. It's what can you do right now? You don't have to be out there on the front lines. You know, you don't even have to donate money. It's spreading awareness. It's checking in on somebody. It's creating a community. Go on the Reddits, you know, offering just some of that love, some of that empathy. Really.
Support, yeah. Connecting people, like you said, to resources to maybe you can't physically do something or monetarily do something, but you can connect them to somebody who can. So yes.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And happy Black History Month, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. We're here already.
Yeah. Feeling the joy. I know. And speaking of joy, I like that we're starting out the month with something a little bit lighter. You know, we're in our fangirl roots today.
Absolutely.
With our guest, which is really exciting. And so I wanted to start Black History Month with some joy, with some fun. Let's talk about some fun things.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be. I mean, there is very much a need for the work and the seriousness and making sure that Black people get rest, but also recognition. But today we're talking about some funsies, some childhood things, some fangirly things, and just this idea that things you like don't have to be Black enough. There's no such thing as Black people music or Black people TV shows or Black people movies. I mean, there are, but you know what I mean? Like you don't have to feel like you have to put yourself in a box of I'm Black, so I have to like Black things.
Yeah. The Tyler Perry of it all.
Right.
Not everything has to be a Tyler Perry.
Right.
And I say that with all the love of my heart because he's great. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, problematic at times, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that just because it wasn't created for Black people by Black people doesn't mean that you don't also get to enjoy that thing. Don't let anyone else tell you that. We'll definitely get into that. Did you have anything fun that you're sipping on?
Oh,
actually?
yeah, I did totally bypass that.
That's all right.
I have Chamberlain Coffee Cold Brew, my fave, the coconut macadamia, with some almond milk and layered vanilla cold foam. And of course, my Symbiotica Golden Mind.
Gotta have it. Gotta get the brains going.
Yeah. I do want to focus on buying Black all month. That's my challenge to myself is if I'm spending outside money, if it's something I already had, that's different. But if I'm spending my outside money on things this month, it's going to be Black companies. What's in your cup?
In my cup today, we've got a little matcha moment. It is, I forgot the brand Vital. It's Vital something. I'm forgetting that second word. Vital something matcha. They're little packets, and I bought it at Sprouts. So probably any health food store. They are on the pricier side, but it's not just matcha powder. It's, I think, organic matcha powder. It is magnesium. It's coconut water. Yeah. It's all the things. And I mix that.
Is it ceremonial grade?
Ooh, good question. I feel like I may not have bought it if it were not.
Right, because that also contributes to the price.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm kind of a matcha snob. First of all, we're always at Matcha Place, and theirs is always ceremonial grade no matter what. But I became that way back in the day when I used to work at that vegan restaurant. Yeah. And I think I said this before in the pod, their giant, RIP by Chloe. I know. It was the time. If you know, you know. By Chloe in Silver Lake, started in New York. It's a whole thing. Their giant pouch of matcha, it was probably about yay high. If you're watching, if you're listening, I'm sorry, I can't give you the measurement. It was a decent, it was like a Costco size pouch. Okay. I'll put it to you that way. $800.
Damn.
$800. Yeah. So when someone ordered a matcha, it was like serious. Yeah. And whoever was preparing it had to be super careful. They kept that huge thing up and away. Yeah. And only the managers could refill the thing that we used. Okay. And
there was a ceremony.
Yeah, it was a ceremony. It was a ceremony, and we had the whisk and we had the bowl, and it was for reals. Yeah. So that's when I knew it was a thing. And so yeah, I've been kind of a snob for a while. I won't just drink any matcha, but that's in my physical cup. In my cup of life, school is back. We're trekking along because it's 7 credits for me this semester. It's my last semester here at the JC, and bigger and brighter things. So just trying to stay ahead of the game, staying focused on what I've got to get done and what I've got to get accomplished. And also all the while being present while I'm here. That's how I'm feeling.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She is in it. It was like day 1 and she was in the dungeon.
I was in the dungeon back in it.
Doing her reading. So she's serious.
It's very serious. So as soon as I saw my grade, because I really didn't think that I was going to hit a 4.0 for fall semester. Okay. And then when I did, I was like, it's on a motherfucking pop-in. Yeah. It was motivation for me. Okay. Yeah. And I've always been kind of a grade girly. Like I put a lot of weight to my grades, even though I say don't do that. You do as I say, don't do as I do. I put a lot of weight to those things, but in a way that drives my ambition to just maintain it. Okay. So I'm trying not to be a crazy control freak over it, but also in a way it was like, got to keep it. Yeah. I got to keep it. I've already been here. Summer, fall. I might as well keep it for spring.
Yeah. And it'll look really great when you transfer.
Correct. All for a reason.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we will get into our main topic of the day. I don't know why I'm saying that. We will get into our interview now so that you guys can experience Sequoia, who is the host of it's becoming one of my favorite podcasts for love the entertainments. Yeah. It's called Black People Love Paramore, and it's not a podcast that's just about Paramore, but she goes over all these different interests. So I just listened to the Gossip Girl episode where they just talk about Black people love Gossip Girl and talking about like the OG Gossip Girl, not the new one. The new one was trash. Sorry. It kind of was.
Sorry, not sorry.
The only redeeming quality of the new one is that there was a throuple that I'm really here for. Okay. But that was really the only part of the whole thing that I liked.
Okay. Good. Yeah, it was such a fun conversation. We love to have a mixture of things happen on the pod, which we talk about all the time, is bring in the fun, bring in the lightheartedness to kind of balance. Right. When we bring in the educations, when we bring in the experts on things that are heavier in nature. Right. So,
and honoring all the different facets of ourselves. And one of the facets of myself is that I'm a fangirl. So
absolutely tried and true to the day we die.
Black History Month. Yeah. It's always and it's everything that we feature is always with a purpose. So it's not like we're just getting on here to shoot the shit. Like we're also talking about the importance in the community of accepting the things that you love.
Correct.
And not letting people judge you for it.
Yeah.
So,
And why those systems exist in the first place.
period.
Period, poo.
Yeah.
So with that, enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
Today we have the most outstanding, one of our favorite podcasters here recently, Sequoia Holmes, who is a content creator and the host of the award-winning podcast, Black People Love Paramore. Contrary to the title, however, the show is not about the band Paramore. It is about the common and uncommon interests of Black people in order to help the community feel more seen. Welcome to the podcast, Sequoia.
Thank you so much for having me. Wow, you read so well on the first take. Let me tell you something. The way that I be stuttering through stuff on the first take, especially when people are listening to me.
And watching, I know I always
It's
get a little
like-
nervous and stutter, but she's solid.
Oh yeah,
I spent
y'all
a
are
lot
tight.
I
Y'all
spent
run
a lot
tight
of
ship.
time in my room. Like, I had a lot of reading time. I was kind of a loner kid.
Okay.
Which we'll get into, because that's kind of like the premise of, like, you know, liking certain things that nobody else likes and you're the weirdo. But
yeah.
lots of time reading in my room for sure. But thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So our starting segment always is we're beverage girlies. We like to share what we're drinking, whether it's coffee or wine or whatever. So what's in your cup today, both physically and then just how are you showing up in life?
Well, I will start physical. I have my off-brand Stanley here. She is pink and cheetah, because I'm a cheetah girl. Always a pink one. That's Galleria, of course.
She delicious.
A period. Inside of this, I have Element, which is an electrolyte drink.
Yes, very familiar.
And I put a little bit of creatine in there because I went to the gym today for the first time without creatine in a while, and I thought I was going to die. So you will not catch me doing that again. So there's creatine and Element in here.
You're like, lesson learned.
That's like a nice little wellness combo.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as metaphorically what's in my cup, absolutely nothing. She is depleted today. She has nothing to give. Very tired. I was up until 1 a.m. playing with my new cat. Did not sleep well enough. That's really it.
Oh, I'm sure that was a good time for you. I mean, I guess the lack of sleep, not good for your mental health, but always playing with animals is so relaxing and so
It was
calming,
worth
so.
it. It was a good trade-off. I'm like, I won't do it again, but it was nice.
It's a kitten or a full adult cat?
She's not quite an adult. This particular breed is not an adult until they're 2, but she's 1, so I wouldn't call her a kitten either.
Yeah. She's a
somewhere.
toddler
She's like a small cat.
Yeah.
All right. Have you landed on a name?
Yes, her name is Chanel, Platinum Chanel.
Oh my god.
I love.
Please.
Thank you.
Okay. The choices. Very Galleria of you.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Cute. I did name her after Chanel, the cheetah girl, so that's it.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
Chuchi.
Awesome.
You have to call her Chuchi.
Oh, you know that's her nickname, of course.
Too cute.
That's so cute. Have you thought about what cheetah girl you are?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like everyone wants to say that they're Galleria, but I just don't know that that's true. I just actually might be, though, with all my leadership qualities. I don't know. Like, I can lead a group. So I don't know, but I do have this sensitivity of Chanel. And the independence of Dorinda. I don't know. Could they just blend all together?
Queen cheetah.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, like a nice little blend. I'm Jackal.
Jackal
villain.
cheetah.
Jackal Johnson.
Yeah, I kind of relate. I would say Galleria just because of the level of delusion I've always had.
Love it.
That like things were just going to work out the way that I want them to.
Correct.
But I would say probably just from energy level, I'm more of a Chanel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I was a Chanel. If I took my mom's credit card, that would be the end of my life.
Ooh,
Truly.
child,
She was
truly.
crazy.
That was not happening in my household at all.
I know. I'm like, how does she even have... Well, I guess her mom gave it to her, right?
Yeah. Well, it was a whole dynamic.
Yes.
Because it
Yes.
was like because I'm not spending time with you, like here's money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Money.
So that's a whole
Right.
different podcast
Right.
to explore parenting dynamics.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'd love.
So being that it's Black History Month, we're highlighting Black creators. And when we came across your podcast like months back, I was like, this would just be so perfect because I feel like Black people and brown people are always told what they can and cannot like or should not like. There's this stereotype, of course, that we're only allowed to be a fan of certain things. What has been your experience with that?
Well, I started this podcast because I definitely had a lot of experience with that. I was in middle school when I went through my little emo phase, as I'm sure a lot of us were. And at the
guilty.
time, I went to a very white middle school. So I was one of maybe like 10-ish black kids at the school.
Wow.
And even one of fewer in the quote unquote gifted and talented program that now might be a hoax. We don't really know how real that was at the time. But I felt very isolated already in that, but because of my environment, I picked up a lot of interests that stereotypically Black people were quote unquote not supposed to be partaking in. So that was my emo phase. I remember one of my teachers telling me I was an Oreo and I was so whitewashed because I was listening to Paramore on the bus to a basketball game that we were going to. It was just a whole thing.
Yeah. How did that at the time make you feel? Did you just kind of take it like, oh yeah? Or in that moment, was it like did you already understand that was something that just wasn't cool or true to tell a child?
I just hated being called an Oreo. I heard it so often. I just hated it. It made me cringe.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not white anywhere. What do you mean I'm white on the inside? I'm literally not white on the inside or outside or anything. I felt boxed in, I guess, should I say. Like, it was like, and also I would like to point out, during this time, I was listening to rap heavy. Yeah. And I still do. Like, that never left me. My musical interests have been the same my entire life for the most part. But I felt like it was okay for me to like that and not okay for me to like other things that I did naturally like.
Right.
Yeah. And speaking to the boxes, it's like, okay, well, if you want to talk about that, why are all these little white boys listening to rap? Like, how come they're allowed to do that?
Like,
but I can't listen to NSYNC or the Jonas Brothers.
Right. You weren't calling them an Inside Out Oreo. I didn't hear anything about that.
Right. It's a bigger discussion surrounding all these microaggressions that I suppose at that time we didn't have a word for what that behavior was, right? But an adult to feel comfortable enough to tell a child that and really take a stab at their individuality, their personality, and turn it into an insecurity is, I don't know. I just don't, as an adult now working with middle schoolers, I just don't know how I could see myself doing that. Obviously, we've come a long way with what we know now. But shaming someone for listening to a very good song or a very good band is just extremely weirdo behavior. And I would expect it from a peer. You know, you don't know any better. You have bullies. It's going to happen.
Right.
But from another adult is pretty interesting to me.
Yeah. It was very strange. And he wasn't the only one either. There was other teachers that also had interesting comments. One of my other teachers wrote "Stay Ghetto" in my yearbook. And as we just said, like, I couldn't win. I was an Oreo or I was ghetto. Like, what was it? It was just my blackness was very confusing, intriguing to people, I guess.
Right. They didn't know what to do with it.
No.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Long Beach, California. Contrary to people's understanding of Long Beach, it is one city over from Orange County. So it is very influenced by Orange County. And for those who don't know, Orange County is a very red county in California, very Republican.
Extremely. So, yeah, we drive through there often.
Are y'all in Southern California?
Yeah, Temecula.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
One of my best friends grew up in Temecula.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I could very much relate to that. I was born and raised in San Diego, moved to Temecula when I was 10. And it was like, whoa, culture shock. It's like I could be 45 minutes from San Diego, but still be one of 10 brown people in my classroom. So it was definitely a very similar experience for me as well. Yeah, driving through Orange County is like, the flags are out and about. You see them, you know.
Gross. Yeah.
It's a bit much.
I try to avoid it. I'm not from here. And so I just love going to the beach. And so one time I went to the beach in Orange County and the stares that I got, I'm like, you've never seen a black person at the beach before? Am I not allowed to be here just because it's your beach?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then they have an entitlement to the coast.
They do, naturally.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It's an
Black people
entitlement
don't
to the
swim.
coast.
Why would you be in the water? Black people don't do that.
Exactly.
What are you doing here?
Black people don't
very much
sunbathe.
like
you already have a tan. Like,
you're
at the
dark.
beach?
Like, what do you mean? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, because I love it the same way you do, and I enjoy the beach the same way everybody does, because it's the beach.
I love vitamin D.
Some crazy lady went viral the other day because she blocked off a part of the sand that was technically in like the back of her house, right? The view is her view is the ocean.
Yeah.
But she put cones and like a rope or something on the sand, and the city was like, no,
No, girl.
not your sand.
This is not your yard.
Friend, so.
Yeah, she was very, very passive aggressive.
For sure. So coming out of that, I mean, obviously you've been able to take something that was a insecurity and make it work for you. When do you feel like you were able to first experience the freedom to freely and openly love the things that you loved?
I don't know that I ever felt that I couldn't openly enjoy it. I just knew that there would be consequences to doing that, and I feel that I was always willing to assume those consequences. I don't know if it is just because of being a Gemini or whatever. I've always been very comfortable with myself for the most part. And so it was just like, yeah, I guess you'll call me an Oreo. And yet you're still going to hear this Paramore song coming out of my phone because it slaps. And I'm trying to put you on. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I do wonder if a lot of that stems from the envy of seeing how comfortable you were in your own skin, being able to be so multifaceted. We talk about this idea of multi-potentiality, where it's like I could be so many things, and I'm also just very comfortable with that idea, and I'm very outward about how I feel in that way. And so other people see that and they're like, "Oh, that's cool, but I can't, and I'm incapable, so I'm gonna shame you." So just the envy that comes from it, so they're just gonna turn it into a bullying moment or make you feel weird or othered, when
that
really
is
it's
such a good
them.
point. It is
It's
a
them.
fantastic point. I felt like a lot of my envying moments or moments like that came from adults, where I could sense some level of jealousy as a child from grown folks, and I didn't quite understand why then, of course, because, you know, a child. And now I'm like, oh, you were discontent with yourself and your life, and I seemed a little too content, especially to be a little Black girl in your space.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were a threat. And
Right.
because they
Been that, still that, baby.
Yeah.
put it on a t-shirt.
Period.
Yeah. I think that we recently did an episode about One Direction and being a fangirl, saying goodbye to Liam Payne, you know, after his tragic death.
Yeah.
And I was kind of on the fence of like if we should do it and put it out there, because I was like already starting to feel that
The judgment.
secondhand embarrassment of like,
Yes.
ooh, like this is another thing that I shouldn't talk about. I'm like, no, I'm a grown ass woman, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
if I want to sit on this mic and talk about One Direction, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And that's why you created your own platform, right? Not so you could stifle
Exactly.
yourself, but because
Yeah.
you wanted to be able to say what you want to say when you want to say it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then just the healing that brought to just be able to like open myself up to be so authentic in like what I love in the communities that I'm in. It's like, why do we feel this need to cover it and hide it, or this persona to be too cool for things? It's like, I'm actually not cool. I actually have zero chill.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have a t-shirt. It's cute. It's got the Bernstein Bears on it.
Yeah.
And it says too cool for school, but I specifically got it because I work at a school. And so one of the teachers was like, I love your shirt. And she's a language arts teacher. So I'm like, I do too. Like, I love it. And I got it because it's ironic, because I'm not too cool for school.
I'm here.
Because I love it here.
Right. I signed up to
I'm
come back
obsessed
after
with
I
school.
graduated. Yeah.
Yeah. Many, many years of school. And I still have to be in school all the time. Yeah. So remind us of your birth year again.
1994.
Okay. So you're kind of in that, what they call the millennials, right?
I
Like
do
a younger
identify as a
millennial. Yeah.
millennial, yes.
We're 92 and 91.
Oh, nice.
So we're like kind of in that mix too. However, we still all very much were a part of this huge technology boost and
Yes.
wave, even as younger millennials. And were the basically first generation to almost be entirely raised by the internet.
Yep.
So we wanted to know if you think that creating online communities at young ages cultivated the idea of being othered for your interests outside of the internet in real life.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was cultivating online communities until very recently. So although I did grow up with the internet, did spend a lot of time on MySpace, finding music that way, and, you know, doing all the things that all of us did, watching music videos for fun. I still do that. I don't think I knew other people online who were also doing that.
Okay.
Until I created a space for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really curious. It's interesting to know how different people have different experiences online.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it was a lot of, number one, online games. So it's like you're connecting to the internet and you're connecting to people all over, right?
Yep.
Lots of online games. MySpace was a big one, but it wasn't, the social aspect of it was more like people who you knew in real life, right?
Definitely. Yep.
But then it got to the point where it was, for her, it was Miley World.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I was on my Miley World
Oh,
chat.
shoot.
So I guess that's what we're talking about. Not necessarily
Got
creating a community, but
I didn't
participating
have any
in
of
one.
those. Yeah, no, I didn't have any of
No?
those. But I do feel like the anomaly in that. People talk to me about it often. They're like, oh, yeah, were you in Paramore, whatever chat room? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. No, I was never. My mom was so a hawk. She was like, you better not be talking to nobody that I don't recognize on that computer.
Oh,
And I wasn't.
okay, interesting.
So I never spoke to a single stranger online until like 5 years ago, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow, yeah, I guess that's something like I wouldn't expect.
And that's fair. I am
Well,
the
that's it.
anomaly in that. Yes, yes.
That's an interesting perspective then. So it's almost like you creating this platform was like stepping out into a whole new world kind of moment when you're like, oh, there's people on the internet connecting and talking and like the Reddit threads of it all and the fan bases.
Releasing my inhibitions for real, going out on a limb, talking to strangers online. So dangerous, so scary.
Right. But it is interesting to have started that into your adulthood where especially because it probably was the safer choice and it probably was the smarter choice for your mom to be on top of things like that because you really don't ever know. But having certain things turned out to be more of a positive experience when the stranger you're talking to is the actual person that they say they are, that's always a nice thing. And so for me, I remember still am a huge Jonas Brothers fan. Ever since, the Hold On, SOS, constant playing of the music video.
Yeah.
As much as I loved them, even after a while, it was like, again.
Yeah, I don't need to hear SOS ever again in my life.
No,
personally.
it was just all the
out.
time.
Yeah.
And so there were started to form these fan websites. So you go to the fan website and whoever had the domain also allowed for a forum. And so you go in and you post bulletins and you reply to people. And it was like kind of a whole thing. And if you
kind
had
of like Reddit before Reddit.
Basically, yes, it was an online forum. I remember specifically there were always competitions between the girlies and who could create the most creative signature. So like an email signature.
Yeah.
So it's like after every post that you made, there was a signature and some of them had like glitters. Literally glitters. Some of them had pictures with the boys. And so those girls were always like the elites.
Oh yeah. Those are the
and we're like,
girls.
okay, what, we get it. You met
That's
them.
so funny. Wait, this actually just reminded me. I did talk to strangers online. I did. But I was on the N.com. Do y'all remember the N?
The N. With like Degrassi and shit.
Yeah, I
right?
was on it was like Degrassi and shit. I was on the N.com and you could make an avatar and like whatever and have friends. It was similar to MySpace, but it was on the N and I didn't know any of those people, of course, because it wasn't people that you knew in real life. And I would just talk to other people about whatever the N shows it was, Instant Star, Degrassi, Beyond the Break, et cetera, et cetera.
Ooh, that was like a memory unlocked. I forgot.
I forgot about it.
Yeah. I will never forget Degrassi itself, but the website, the N, I think was where it really started to pop off. And Degrassi, being a Canadian show, started to gain a lot of momentum and popularity in the States.
Yep.
And so I remember it was definitely an after school show for me. I was like, "Ooh, I'm going home. I'm eating my Hot Pocket."
Oh my
God!
I'm gonna watch. We had the same childhood. I was like, "Yeah, give me that ham and cheese Hot Pocket." Cut on Aubrey Graham on Degrassi right now.
Wheelchair Jimmy,
get him going.
Right, it's gonna be a good time.
I'm gonna watch Marco cry and maybe like shed a little tear to myself.
My gosh, I'm gonna watch Paige be just the biggest and best bitch to ever exist.
She was a really good bitch.
She was a good bitch.
Yeah, but that soft side, when you got to her soft side and you were like, oh, she's actually probably one of the best friends that you could have.
Paige,
and
Michael
no one
Chuck
really
needs to be
realized
studied. Yeah.
Truly, I know. I should really keep up with them now on their Instagrams. I know. I forget the actress's name who played Hazel, but I always loved her.
Oh, I loved her
because she was so sweet.
Yeah.
You know?
And she was in Cadet
Jimmy never
Kelly.
deserved her.
No.
That's right. Oh, Cadet Kelly with the little their little choreography.
Yeah.
I loved Cadet Kelly.
Yeah.
Lots of people's queer awakenings, so I hear.
Really?
Yeah, folks are like, there was a
Okay.
lot of sexual tension between Hilary Duff and Christy Carlson Romano and Cadet
that's
Kelly, and I could see
true.
it, and it just awakened something that's not my story, but I've heard it.
Okay.
Right. I could see that
Me
like
too.
moment of like, okay, we'll just now kiss.
Very much. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Like at the very end where it's like, okay, are y'all competing or is there something else happening
Right.
here?
Is it the other
It's like,
thing?
are you in love?
Right.
Yeah, it did start to feel like that, but then that's fraternization, and it wasn't allowed.
Yeah, not at the time.
No.
Oh, that's funny though. Okay, yeah, the end. I don't know if it was like a game or what it was, but it was a school prom thing, and they're like the little avatars and what was that? I don't know what
loved
that was,
game.
but I was
don't remember.
eating that shit up.
I was eating that shit up. And they also had another game that was similar to it, and you had like an avatar and you would play, I don't know, you would like date people and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay,
What
I'm
a time.
low key after tonight. If you don't see me tonight because we live together, if I'm in my room, I'm on the end and I'm
That
playing some
is
games.
so cute.
Yeah, I wonder if they would have revived it because obviously the 2000s, like the early O's
Yeah.
and stuff, are having a major revival at this moment in time.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically being very upset when they changed it. Was it changed from the N to noggin or the other way around?
I think it was changed from noggin to the N at a certain time of day. So it was like noggin in the morning when it was for younger kids, and then it was
Yeah.
the N later on, kind of like Playhouse Disney versus Disney Channel.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
You know,
Nick
they
Or
Nick
switched
at
over
Night.
during Nick at Night, yes, Nick Jr. Nick at Night, yes, all of that type
Okay.
of stuff. So it was
Okay.
something
But
like
I
that.
don't think that it exists at all anymore.
I think they kind of consolidated it to Teen Nick, if I'm not mistaken. I remember something, it switched over to Teen Nick. There was something
Yeah.
with that. I don't know if it still holds Degrassi and the rest of it, but yeah.
I feel like speaking of the Knicks, I do believe Nick Cannon is involved in there somewhere.
Interesting.
Nick Cannon was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, but he's like high up in Viacom, and Viacom owns Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Oh.
He also had a show.
Umpteen
He had a
Children.
sketch comedy show. Teen Children. He had a sketch comedy show on Nickelodeon called The Nick Cannon Show. I thought it was the
Yes.
funniest thing ever. I was like, Amanda Bynes, move. This is Nick Cannon coming through. Now look at him.
Bless her heart.
It was kind of niche. Like I feel like a lot of people didn't know about his
It was
comedy
niche.
sketch show. But
It was
it was
niche.
really funny.
Yeah, it was
like,
really
up there
funny.
With Keenan and Kel.
It was the funniest one to me personally. I watched all of them, and I thought that one was so funny, and it did not get its just due. It did not get renewed for a second season, I don't think. It was great, though.
No.
Oh,
to me.
dang! I'll have to revisit.
That's how I feel about Naked Brothers Band. I'm like, I thought that it was better than like Victorious.
Let me
and all
tell
of
you
that.
something.
Like, ugh.
Nat and Alex Wolf,
Yes.
Naked Brothers Band. Do you know that they're opening for Billie Eilish now?
Yes.
Yes, of course
we do.
y'all know.
Well, I know.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't know
Right.
that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a recent. She added them on. Well, she
Together?
did the yes. She
Yes,
did
and they're
the-
singing their Naked Brothers Band songs too.
Shut
yes,
up.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I need to get on TikTok
I feel like
and see
I
this.
thought I would have sent it to you, but I assumed that. I mean, obviously the stand over here. I thought you would have seen it by now on TikToks.
Right. He just
Yeah.
has a certain je ne sais quoi, you know? Like
Which
there's
one?
just something Nat, like I don't know why, but he's
That's
he's
the
on
younger
my
one,
white
no?
boy Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Now, is
okay.
the younger or the older?
The older one. The older one.
Okay.
The older one. Got it. Got it.
And Billy did some sort of music video.
Yes, I did know that. Yeah, I did see
Okay, with Nat.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love that for them.
Me too.
Getting their moment back.
yeah, truly.
I'm like getting back. I'm like,
Where am I?
yes. Back to the point. Is there anything that you feel like you kind of said that you just are unapologetically Gemini in the fact that you're like, I don't care, a little bit rebellious.
Yeah.
But is there anything that maybe even as an adult that kind of helps you experience Black joy?
What as an adult helps me experience Black joy? That's a really good question. I love singing in the car. Like a carpool karaoke moment, putting on just Right now, I'm listening to lots of Eternal Sunshine, Ariana Grande. So that has been doing a lot for me. Been listening to a lot of Sabrina Carpenter. I saw her live recently, so it was good.
So jealous.
Did you go to one of the LA shows?
I did. I went to one of the LA shows with my 12-year-old niece. She's a big Sabrina fan. I'm also enough of a fan, so we went. It was a good time.
Yeah, the nosebleeds for the San Diego show I think were $400. So like that's a hard pass for us. Love Brina down. Was really looking forward to the Juno live.
It was fun.
We love Good Graces.
She did a lot for me to be with my 12-year-old niece. I was like,
you said 12 and I was like,
Sabrina, I didn't need that pose in particular. It was a lot, but okay.
I know. She kind of got freaky with it in LA.
She did. She did. She really did.
Yeah, it's like trying to push out of this image. It's almost like, do you have to go the extreme route?
She does go far. She does go a little far.
Yeah. Do you have to have a wrecking ball moment? I think this is her wrecking ball.
And you know what? At least she's doing it. Though. I was gonna say, like, beauty and aesthetics very much give her thing. She's giving like that fembot aesthetic. I have lots of thoughts about Sabrina. I won't bore you with all of them. Yeah, I won't worry with all of them. They're very nuanced.
That's what this time is for.
Okay,
yes, please.
Well, hey, I will. I feel like there's a thin line between this sexy baby aesthetic that is kind of dominant in pop culture right now, and this like fembot pinup girl aesthetic, and I'm not quite sure which one Sabrina's on. I kind of get a bit of both, and it makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, but she's great. She's really talented.
Yeah.
The aesthetic is very tight now. As I saw it live, I was like, okay, I think I get it a little bit more. But before I saw it live, I was like, you're being a sexy baby, and that's weird to me. It's very infantilized.
Yeah. I get the tie to Playboy and stuff. And I, as a, 32-year-old adult, I'm like, oh, I love this. This is like the fantasy. But knowing that she has a lot of young fans and that it's like this hyper-sexualized view, who is this for? Is this for like us, the girlies?
It's a little
is this
confusing.
for like the guys?
You know? Right. It is a little bit confusing. And what I've landed on, I guess, is that it's for Sabrina. She very much gives me theater kid. Like she loves this shit down, like performing, doing this whole thing. It feels like a bit even. I was watching a music video of hers from 2 years ago, and she was an entirely different product 2 years ago than she is right now. Yes. Which tells me she is just a theater kid. Like she's opting into this right now, and this might stick or it might not. I don't know, but she seems to be having a good time doing it. I'm following along for the time being. I did have questions when she was doing this with the microphone at the LA show. Right. But we're fine.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like, I remember when I saw Miley for whatever tour that was right after she broke out of Hannah Montana. Not Wrecking Ball, that
was it like Can't Be Tamed?
Yeah, like when she was wearing a lot of like leather extensions to her ass type of thing. Yeah. And I remember like looking around in the crowd and I'm like, why are half of the crowd is 16, 17-year-old boys? Right. Like, why? Oh. You know? It was that era of, okay, who is this for? Yes. Kind of thing. I'm like, I'm on here fighting demons trying to get tickets, and then lo and behold, I go in person after spending probably way more at the time than I should have, and I go, and then I'm surrounded by all these little prepubescent boys. I'm like, are you guys just, what is, I know what's going on in your head and why you're here, and I'm like, I'm here like to enjoy Miley, so it kind of reminds me like a little bit of that era.
It's like, I know you don't know her discography.
What do you do? My concern with Sabrina is that it is a bunch of 55-year-old men who are like, ooh, this girl kind of looks like a child, but she's really sexy and she's not a child. So it's legal for me to ogle and follow and save and do whatever I do with the images that she puts out there. Yeah. And it just, it's something's unsettling about it. But again, I'm like, is that Sabrina's fault? No. 1, 2, would I be saying the same thing if Sabrina had a different body type? If she was not 4'11" and rather petite, would I be saying the same thing? You know, it's very nuanced because I'm like, and yet that's still probably a big amount of her demographic, or at least followers, people who are paying attention, it's still probably skewing that way often.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's part of, not even part of me. I am really glad that she's very empowered in her sexuality and expressing herself in that way. But I totally see your point.
Yeah, she is kind of a tiny person.
She's
tiny, with very much like a baby face. She's got a very young looking face.
Very young looking face.
Cheekbones. Yeah. The makeup that gets done is like this very like light fairy
baby
angel.
doll. Yeah.
Blush her up and
Yes.
make those lashes very like
Eyes
wispy and
really
long.
big. Yes.
Yeah. Like a doe-eyed baby deer.
The super
100%.
like overly blushed cheeks.
Yes.
To
Yes.
make them look super full. Yeah.
Something to ponder for sure.
I will say though, the album, short and sweet, the album, I'm going to make the prediction, album of the year.
Okay, period. Oh my God, I'm
I think
excited
it'll be
to
between
see.
her and Chapel, but I think it's going to be Sabrina.
Okay. I have to say I like Chapel's album a little bit more. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
They're both working
But-
very hard.
But
They're both
they
working
are
very hard.
hardworking girlies. Oh my God, they are killing it. I am so proud. The pop girls are really holding the game together right now.
Really, it's a whole
are
era.
really doing
It's a
it.
moment. We're experiencing a revolution.
We are. We
truly
have
believe
Billy. We have even Dua. Like it's a good little moment.
Right. And I feel
Yeah.
like Dua has had this really interesting journey into her artistry, whereas I feel like she could have been considered just like a one-hit wonder, or just
Easily.
like a plain top 40 blah blah blah,
Expectedly.
but she's not. I think she's a really talented vocalist. I think she's a really good performer. Yeah, it's on the rise with the Charlie XCX moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we have a lot of girlies on the stage right now. I'm definitely here for that.
It really was, the 2024 music season was dominated by the pop girls.
It was.
And I will not, I mean, I'm not sure what week this is coming out and if it'll be before or after the Grammys, but I'm still a little bit salty that Ariana got snubbed.
I'm incredibly salty that Eternal Sunshine got snubbed. That is a no skips top to bottom for me personally.
It's good. The way that she just documented her whole journey and the fact that he put in an NDA, you can't talk about a divorce. And she's like, well, fine. I'm going to sing about it then.
No
But
problem.
I'm a
Right.
singer.
Right. Don't
Literally.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm just going to downgrade you to a situationship in my song because
Simple.
I can't say divorce.
No biggie. Don't worry about it.
It probably, I mean, in the grand scheme of things and the timeline of it all, it probably felt like that. I mean, it was a short marriage.
It was
know?
really short. Yeah.
Poor girl.
I know. I really hope that all of us kind of coming out of this weird planetary moment, I think that she's kind of more in her Broadway bag. And we're going to get to see Ariana Grande Butera. You know what I mean?
She's a Capricorn rising, so she is due for a big change, like about now. Saturn or Pluto will be going into her second house, the house of like money and resources. And so she will likely make her money in a much different way than she currently makes her money, which is likely, musical theater is what I would imagine. That's my prediction for Ariana Grande.
Yeah. I love seeing her on screen, obviously, but to go have an opportunity to see her on stage would be, are you kidding?
So good. It would be
I got chills. I got
good.
goosies.
Yeah.
Well, just to round everything out, because it's Black History Month, we're asking all of our guests this month, how are you choosing to honor and celebrate yourself?
Ooh, with rest and restoration. Would love to be, we're recording this in the past, but would love to be taking time off work. That would be great because I work at a company that specifies or really pays attention to Black folks in particular, which means that during Black History Month, I generally work harder. And that kind of pisses me off every time. I'm like, why am I sitting here working so much harder during this month? Y'all need to get somebody else to do it this month. Figure it out. Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all should contract non-Black people in
Very
the month
much.
of February.
Right. Get the reparations going. I'm like, contract the non-Blacks. Tell them they're going to be working on Black history content all month.
Yes.
I can say yes or no. I can oversee it.
Correct. Correct.
But
It's like
I
I
don't wanna
already
do
know
anything.
all of this.
Right. I do.
Right? It's like there are other people that need to learn what it is that I've been doing every single year for this month.
Hey.
The responsibility for us to always educate others. Like, I already know this shit. You guys do your research and you put out the content because I already know that.
Yeah. So
That's a thought. We be having ideas.
Yeah.
right here.
But I'm on the same page. When I was
Aligned.
working at an office too, that was always the same thing. Of like, oh, you're going to be on this committee and you're going to do this and that. And like, can you film this video and can you go to this event and I'm like, you know what I want to do? I want to go home and I want to watch Poetic Justice and I want to take a nap. That's what I want to do.
I want to watch The Color of Friendship on Disney Channel.
Oh.
And that's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will never forget that scene when that little white girl walked in that house.
Oh my God.
And that family said, we said Africa.
Right.
Yeah. That was like, to this day, top tier decom.
That one still holds up.
They
Real
put
bad.
their foot in that one. I was
They
like, okay.
ate.
I was like, I would love more of this. Yeah. Teach the children what they need to know.
Absolutely.
100%.
You know? I think the actresses did very well.
They did such a good job. The Dellums, very much had a, if you're African, why are you white? Mean Girls moment when she
literally, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially because they were in a different class system too.
Yeah.
Than what I guess technically what we were used to seeing or had never even really seen on Disney Channel. It was like, this was a very well-to-do black family. This man was in the government.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
he had a, a reputation.
He did.
An image to uphold. So
And
I
did.
love that movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, we should make a list of all the things we're going to watch during this month for Black History Month.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Sequoia.
Of course.
I'm sure we
Thank
could
y'all
have
for
kept
having
going
me.
and going.
Yes.
I can always chat.
We can always yap about the pop culture of it all.
Of
But yeah,
course.
we appreciate you coming on. And can you let our listeners know where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me online at BPLP Pod across all platforms for my podcast. You can listen to my podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can watch it on YouTube. If you are looking for me personally, you can find me at Sequoia B. Holmes across all social media platforms.
Okay. And of course, as always, we'll link everything in the show notes to make it easy for y'all.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. This was so fun.
This was very fun. I feel like I just got my pop culture heart out.
All right, you guys. How fun was that? I really love Sequoia's energy. So I'm excited. This is different than an interview that we've done before. And I'm really liking it.
Yeah, I liked her not give a fuckness. Like we said, I wish we could for the both of us, I wish we could be in that space most of the time. It's okay that we're not though, and it's okay that she was and is. Yeah. And I just loved talking about things that we love. I love the energy that comes with being lit up about something.
The camaraderie.
I appreciated all the things that she shared as well that she loved, and we found even more interest, I think, than what we expected.
Yeah.
And I love that. We tend to attract, astrologically speaking, we tend to attract a lot of similar or the same signs, or they'll share something within our chart, right?
Right.
But for Sequoia, her being a Gemini, I think she was definitely one of the first.
They're my sister.
Yeah, we don't tend to attract very much air as being sun, but we loved it, and we loved the attitude that she brought, and we just kind of had a good kiki.
Yeah.
So
It was much needed. Yeah. And kind of like I have always said, that being a fan of something and sharing in that camaraderie and even just the joy and the excitement that you can express over liking something, I think is unmatched. You don't really see that in a lot of other things like sports, I guess. But yeah, I think that that's really special. And I think that obviously society tries to make you feel a type of way about it, but I don't care. I had a man try to make me feel some type of way about it, and I was like, you can fuck off.
Ew.
Yeah.
Who asked you?
But he basically said that it gives him the ick when girls get fangirly. And I'm like, well, define fangirly. So we had a chat about that. And I basically, said what I always say, kind of what I just said right now. And we came to an understanding. And yeah, he's like, I just might look the other way, or I might give you kind of side eye if you walk up to somebody and you start freaking out. I'm like, that's not even my personality anymore.
Anymore.
even when we were actually I don't remember. I feel like I would not freak out to their face.
We never did that.
I'm not that kind of person. also, I don't know, now I kind of just view everybody as a human. I really respect people's privacy. And so I don't really see myself walking up to anybody freaking out. I think that internally there's certain people that I would be internally freaking out, like Beyonce, obviously. Like I'm gonna come off cool and collected, but like if I was talking to Beyonce, I think that I would be shitting my pants.
Yeah, your thought bubble would be going off.
Right, but
For
I'm not
sure.
gonna, yeah.
When I went to I just had his name and I forgot it.
Travis?
No. Although I do love him. Yeah, okay, that's actually a better example. That's a better example. I was going to talk about how I saw Niall at someone else's concert. And
I forgot that you did that.
Yeah.
James Bay.
James Bay. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I will
yeah,
get to the Travis thing, but James Bay, who is actually a very incredible artist. Niall Horan was at one of his LA shows many, many years back.
Many months ago.
And then at the time, the person that I saw it with, shout out to Nora, she was not of age. And so she could not go into the bar that I wanted to follow him into. Fun Times at Davy Wayne's. Shouts out if you know, if you know. You know if you know. And she was like, just go. I will be fine out here. Just go. You have to go. You gotta say something. You gotta go see what he's doing. And I'm like, do I? And it took me a while to muster up the courage. She's like, I will be fine. She was fine. As I finally decided to go in there, it must have been maybe 10 minutes. He was already on his way out. And I passed him on the stairs.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we were this close. Our butts almost touched.
Cute. Was this before or after Vegas?
After?
Okay.
Wait, I don't know. When did Zane leave?
2014 or 15?
I can't remember. It's too close to call.
Yeah.
It's too close to
It
call.
was probably maybe around that same time.
It might have been around the same time. Yeah. But that was a good time. I never ever would freak out in his face though. I think I glanced toward his way. I don't even remember if I said anything. And if I did, it was something very simple like hi.
Yeah.
And then I left.
Yeah.
Because what business do I have being in a bar by myself? That's so weird.
That's weird.
When my friend's outside. And so there was that. And then forever, probably since I was, 14 or 15, have been a fan of Travis Garland. He is low-key, but he was in a boy band at first and then went solo and has been solo for a very long time. He sings on Dancing with the Stars. So I might put you guys on.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. And I went to one of his solo shows also many moons back. I think it was 2015 also, maybe 2016. And it was in San Diego and it was this small little spot. And I loved that because it was so intimate. And then after, he was just hanging out by his merch table. And I walked over there and I was like, let's get a picture. And I wrapped my arms around that man's torso. Like I've been knowing him for a long time because that's how I felt. And that's what our picture looks like.
That's funny.
And then someone commented, I think when I first posted it, like, oh my gosh, you guys look so good together. Like, is this your date? Is this your boyfriend? Because he's so low key, right? Nobody knows who it is.
Right.
Bless his heart. I love him so much. I think he wants it that way. But yeah, he's married now. And
to a baddie.
I'm like, how in the world?
Yeah.
Like, he's cute, but like, how? You guys got to go see his wife.
Do you know who I had as my phone background for a while and somebody thought they were my boyfriend? Ashton. I was like,
you're like,
could be.
Yes. Yes. I am attracted to frog looking Australian 6 foot.
It was the frog day.
It was the frog day.
It was the green jacket, glasses frog day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my background. And then after that, I was so embarrassed that I changed it to something else.
Your boyfriend.
Because then how do you explain that to somebody? Because I'm like, well, then who is he? And I'm like, he's my friend. They're like, you have your friend as your background?
Your friend as your background, yeah.
Yeah.
The lie would have been better. But like, yeah, we're super long distance, like 18 hours. We love that. No, I don't. We've not met very many famous people at all, but as many people as we've had the opportunity to meet, neither one of us have ever gone completely psycho crazy, hyperventilated, cried in front of everyone. Like we're not those girlies. When we're experiencing their creativity and we're at a show and we're singing along and we're dancing, maybe that's a different version of us.
Right.
But that's what's meant to happen, and that's what's meant to be your experience. And don't let anyone else tell you. Moral of the story, moral of the episode. You decide what's fun for you, and don't let anyone else's judgment or opinion of that thing deter you from changing your background.
Exactly.
On your phone.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I did have a run-in one time, and I often forget that this happened. But one time I was at iHeart Festival, and we were walking out at the same time as Darren Criss. And that was like the height of Glee. I think it was like Glee only had one season left.
Oh.
They were filming their final season, and he was running through the MGM, not from us, but just because he didn't want to get stuck in the mob.
Yeah.
Because it was towards the end of the festival or whatever.
Right.
And he was so nice. I will never forget that, Darren Criss. You are such a sweetheart. But
I've heard good things about him.
yeah,
Like, he's a good person. A lot of people love him.
But it probably looked crazy because he was almost running, borderline running. So then we had to run to keep pace with him.
Fast
and
walking
I'm short
Olympics.
with little legs, so I was literally like full on jogging. So what's gonna happen on Glee?
Mr. Chris, I just have a couple questions for you.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully this episode made you feel seen and safe. And if you also are a recovering fangirl who made it to the end of the episode, comment with the heart eyes emoji.
And let us know the things that you freak out over. It could be anything you want.
Oh, yeah.
Things that you freak out over, maybe specifically that have been judged previously, and you still decided, you know what? It's still for me, and I still love it.
Yeah. And I want to know the niche ones too. Love it, love it, love it. I think that is about it.
Okay, y'all. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Toodles.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's EA meeting.
If you liked this episode, please share it with a friend and leave a 5-star rating and review on Apple or Spotify. We'd love to hear from you.
You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at empathsanonpod.
Don't forget to follow us wherever you listen to podcasts or subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know when we release a new episode.
We'll meet you back here on the Green Velvet Couch next time.
Bye, feelers!